Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Delights and More with A. Marie. It's your girl A. Marie. Before we get into this video, make sure you guys hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you are not part of the A team. And to my A team, don't forget to turn on your post notifications so anytime I do a video, you guys will be notified. Okay guys, so let's get into this video. This is gonna be unlike any video that you guys have seen or heard. My grandma passed away. It'll be 6 years on Monday that she passed away, since she's no longer with us. And this whole video is going to be in dedication to my grandma, in memory of my grandma. I even wrote a poem, and we're going to get to that shortly in a minute, but I just want to tell you, a little bit about my grandma. My grandma, if you know me, she meant the world to me, point blank period. Like, I can't even put it in words how much my grandma meant to me. She was definitely the backbone of our family. Her and my grandpa were married. They've been together since they were 17 years old, and my grandpa just turned 71 in February. And again, it's going on 6 years since my grandma has been gone. She was the life of the party. She was always laughing, she was always dancing, she was always smiling. And I'm so blessed to have 25 years with my grandma. I felt like the year 25 was so hard for me because I lost my grandma, and I lost friends, close friends that I never thought I would lose, but I did. Relationships of that nature. And I just felt like 25 was a really hard year for me. But I have so many memories of my grandma. Y'all, she was in the birth room. She was in the room when I gave birth to not only one son, but two. Yes, she watched both of my boys, Emmanuel and Isaac, come into the world. And she was my boy's great grandma, which was my grandma, you know what I mean? And she was just everything, guys. She loved plants, she loved elephants, she loved nature, and she loved my grandfather, my grandpa. Oh my word, I'm telling you, you ain't see one, you ain't see the other. It was literally, you see one and you see the other. And I don't know, guys, she did so much in my life. I have so many memories of my grandma, from toddler years, I remember, to adolescent years, to teenage years. Like, she has always been there. And I remember her and my mom would always sing together. They would sing songs together. I remember when I was young before my kids even got to the picture, y'all. I think I was in middle school, early middle school. They had this one house that you would have to drive past a store in my city, and you had to keep driving and driving, and then we finally get to it. And I remember this one particular day, it was shining, the sun was out, it was so pretty outside, y'all. It was so pretty outside. My mom pulled up in the driveway, and at that time they had a little porch, so we went up the steps, and you could just hear the music blasting from my grandpa's house, from my grandparents' house, just blasting. You go inside, they got this white and black couch, they got white and black furniture. I'll never forget it. And the aroma, I'm smelling Granny's green beans. I'm smelling Granny's green beans. At the time I was eating pork, but her green beans were smelling so good. They had the music playing, and me and my mom went over there, and all of a sudden Whitney Houston started playing. My love is your love, and your love is my love. They was playing that song, right? And my mom went in there, my grandma, and they started singing Whitney Houston. They sung a few of her songs together, and I was just like, wow. My grandma can just harmonized, and I see where my mom gets it. And I'm just like, Granny, like, I remember it. Like, they was playing all the Whitney Houston songs on her album. Because at that time, you know, my grandpa had the huge speaker where you would have a speaker on this side and a speaker on this side. And he even had, like, the glass cabinet with the speaker or whatever. So it was just so nice. Like, I just remember good times always like going to my grandma's house always. And then when it was just me and my oldest son Emmanuel at the time, and I was team one, I was always screaming at to the death of me, team one. I would feel a certain type of way because I felt like every time we would go over my grandparents' house, my son was always like, Granny, I'm hungry. And I'm like, we're about to go home and I'm gonna make some food. Y'all, my grandma would fix him some waffles, some Polar sausage, some eggs, some orange juice, have it in the living room with his little tray, and him and my grandpa would watch Teen Titans or SpongeBob. Like, he had it made. When I tell you, he had it made, y'all. So it's just stuff like that I remember. And bro, I was in middle school, and because I told y'all I write poems, and I was in middle school, and Hurricane Katrina just had hit a few days prior, right? So I remember I read my poem to my grandma, and that was the first poem I read her. Y'all, do y'all know she kept my poem? Yes, my grandma kept my poem. And she made me a promise. Well, she had me make her a promise, and she was just like, Ani, I want you to write a book of your poems one day because your poetry is beautiful. So a little bit after she passed, my grandpa had gave me the 3 poems that I gave my grandma when I was in middle school, right? And y'all, just the fact that she kept those poems for so long, it just did my heart. Like, I was just all in my feelings. But I don't know, I was acting like I was so surprised. My grandma was pulling out stuff that I did in elementary school, like all my artwork, all of my schoolwork in elementary school. She was pulling it all out, and I was just like, Granny, I can't believe you still have this stuff. But she still had this stuff. She did the same thing with Man. She had all of Man's drawings, all of his artwork, all of his pictures that he would color, but would say, to Granny from Emmanuel. Like, she kept everything, guys. My grandma kept everything. She loved elephants, and it's crazy that me and my mom are obsessed with elephants, and that's why I wear this necklace every day, the elephant necklace, in resemblance of remembrance, how you said the word, of my grandma. And then my mom has a gold bracelet that she wears too, and I also have her ring. So I don't know, elephants, they signify unity, strength, you know what I mean, like glory, happiness. They're beautiful, they're so strong, they're so mighty, they're so powerful, they're so loving, and they're caring. Like, it's just crazy. And to be honest, y'all, I'm terrified of needles, right? But I really want a tattoo, and the tattoo, you guess, will be elephants. And my number is 3. 3 is my favorite number. I feel like there's so many things that come to mind when I think of the number 3 and the significance the number 3 plays in my life, you know what I mean? So I definitely one day want to get like 3 elephants. They ain't gotta be big, they could just be small. But that's crazy. I didn't even think about getting my kids' names tatted on me, but my grandma and elephants, I definitely want to get a tattoo. So I don't know, one day y'all might get on here and be like, oh, Ava Marie got a tattoo, she finally did it. Like, I ain't going home with breath or nothing, but I'm just letting you guys know that I really, really want that. But I don't know, guys. And another story I want to share with you guys before I get into my poem. I would have never known anything about Toni Braxton had it not been for my grandma. Growing up, we were not allowed to listen to secular music. We just wasn't. Me and my brothers was not allowed. But when we would go over to my grandma's, she'd always play the old school. She'd play Michael Jackson. She was playing Celine Dion. My grandpa was playing Peebo Bryson. My grandpa was playing Teddy Pendergrass. Who else? Boys to Men, Tony Braxton, Whitney Houston. Like, they were always playing music, right? So I remember one time we went over there, my grandma had the Tony Braxton album playing. That's one thing. Anytime you would go over to my grandma's house, you better believe she had music playing. And that's where I think my mom gets it from, and that's where I get it from, because music is life, point blank, period. I'm such a 90s girl, it's not even funny. If it doesn't make me feel like the 90s, I don't want it. You can keep it. You can keep it. I want the 90s feeling. That's my love language. I feel like the 90s is like my love language. If it could be a love language, music should be penciled into the love language, because that would definitely be mine. But my grandma, she loved music. She loved music. My grandpa loved music. So one time we went over there, and can you keep a secret, right? Tony Braxton's album Secret was playing, and I was just listening to track after track after track, and my grandma was just like, you could use it, right? And I was like, Granny, because at that time, Talking in the Sleep, right? That song was on. And I was like, really, Granny? She was like, yeah, I'll let you listen to it. And she did. She took it out of the stereo. She put it in the case, where y'all know the Tony album cover, like when it's just her face and she got the real long pretty hair and stuff like that, and like literally it's just like a face shot of, that's just what her photo album cover is, just her face shot. Tony Braxton is gorgeous, everybody knows that. But so I remember going home, and I had the dinosaur computer, right? It's like you got the monitor and you got the keyboard, right? And I went in my room, and I had my door closed, and I was in my room the whole night typing poems. I mean, I was getting into the fonts, the different color of the inks, what I wanted to write, even doing little pictures at the end of my poetry. It was so crazy looking back at it. I was only in middle school. But, and I played Let It Flow. Let It Flow was on repeat. And it's like, man, I would have never knew anything about Tony Braxton had it not been for my grandma, right? So, I don't know, guys. Just there's so many memories I have of my grandma. Like I said, she was the life of the party. She was so giving, would give you the shirt off her back if she could. Yes, she would. Like, she loved planting. She loved flowers. She always had a bunch of plants in every room. I remember in her kitchen, there was this huge plants all behind the table. They were like in vases, and they were just lined up one by one. And I'm just like, Granny, and she'd water them, and she'd talk to them. And her favorite show we always would watch, she loved Judge Joe Brown, she loved Judge Judy, and she liked Maury, and from time to time would watch Springer. But one thing I could not get with my grandma, she was into sci-fi. Oh my gosh, if anybody knows my grandma, she loved her a good sci-fi movie. And I remember one time she let me watch the movie Gothica, and I watched it at my mom's house on my box TV by myself while Halle Berry, y'all know the movie y'all know the movie. You know the movie Gothica. Halle Berry stars in it. Y'all, I was so spooked, but I had to keep it to myself because I knew I wasn't allowed to watch that movie. You know what I mean? But my grandma let me watch Gothica because I really wanted to see it, and she ended up letting me see it. And then she also got me the Cinderella movie with Brandy and Whitney Houston. I would watch the movie, start it over, watch it, start it over, watch it, start it over. Like, I literally knew that movie by heart. She did that movie. She gave me Glitter with Mariah Carey, and the one movie, it was the VHS. It was Mariah Carey, but on it, it had Hero, and she was in her black dress. She had the real curly hair. That's when Mariah Carey was young back in the day, y'all. And I would watch that movie and just play it in my room. Like, again, my grandma, just like my grandma is the one that got Emmanuel onto Michael Jackson. Yes. Mimi wouldn't have been dancing or none of that had it not been for my grandma. He seen that Michael Jackson movie that had Remember the Time. He literally knows that video by heart and the song. When he was 6 years old, dancing his little butt off. It was the cutest thing ever. It don't matter if you're black or white. Like, and he would watch it and then start it over. He'd watch it, start it over. So I don't know, guys. My grandma, she was everything. And just knowing how my mom would get every time we would go over her house, it would be 6:30, 7 o'clock at night. We'd run over and go see my grandma, like my grandma and my grandpa. So I don't know, guys. It's just some things that I wanted to share with you guys about my grandma. I know she wouldn't want me sad and, you know, depressed. Like, she was just full of life and energy and could dress her butt off. When I tell you, okay, last story, I promise. So I used to be a little hot growing up, right? So, like, I think I was like 14 or 15 years old, and my grandma had this black strapless top, right? It was in this, like, a halter, right? I mean, it didn't show the belly or anything, but it was strapless, and it was black, and it was long, and it kind of ruffled at the bottom, so you could flip it or you could pull it over. Like, you know, I'm conservative and stuff, so you can pull it over my butt or whatever. And I absolutely loved that black halter. Y'all know she gave me that, right? Yes, my grandma gave it to me, and I started wearing it as I got older. But I felt so good in it, like, it was so cute, period. And it's like, yeah, my grandma could dress her butt off. Like, she could dress her butt off. I absolutely loved it. But I'm getting ready to read you guys this poem, so bear with me. So I'm about to read you this poem real fast. Hope you guys like it and enjoy. Okay, so it's called The Day Before My Grandma's 6-year memorial. 6 years tomorrow, sadly, how time flies. I remember the morning I found out, just laying in bed as I sobbed and cried. Woke up to all these unread text messages from my baby brother. My grandma is gone, here with us she is no longer. My mom, that's who I hurted and still do the most for. Losing my grandma was one thing, but watching my mom do it, it's a whole nother level of pain to endure. You witnessed births of both of my boys. I thank the Lord you were able to be present. What an honor for you to be there. A lifetime, years of beautiful memories, glad we shared. Mommy is following in your footsteps. She's aging gracefully and quite beautifully. She's looking more and more like you as the days go by and continuing. She's so strong, but I'm sure you knew that. That Scott loved for her mom, so much respect and love, compassion, both for her mom and dad. Isaac sleeps with your teddy bear every night, warms my heart to see, and sometimes he brings it to the table during class, his virtual learning. I wear your ring and a gold elephant necklace daily in remembrance of you. Mommy has a beautiful gold elephant bracelet and she wears it too. It never gets easier by no means. Even in your absence, I'm thankful you're no longer in pain and suffering. I close my eyes and picture you, my granny, singing, smiling, dancing, and laughing. It's memories like those I cherish and value. Still remember me and my brothers coming over with Mom, summer days, the sun peeking in the doorway with the sun shining through. Grandpa's speakers blasting in the living room, Whitney Houston playing Mommy, and you singing, harmonizing beautiful tunes. Even back in my Kroger days, that tall, pretty girl, that's my granddaughter, I could still hear you say. Gave you hugs every chance I could get. You were my everything, my heart meant the world to me, I admit. Again, it's memories like those that keeps me in high spirits, but at the same time it still hurts. Life is a part of death, and mourning let me be the first to say no one deserves See, pictures are captured moments. They tell history, beautiful stories. I love you forever, sweet angel. Please continue to watch over us all, where we have no fear and no worries. Written by Poetic Marie. So, I don't know. That's just something I wrote earlier today. And it's so crazy that my best friend, I was talking to her earlier today. Hey, bestie, best. Hey, honey. It was crazy how she noticed that every memorial of my grandma's or her birthday, or sometimes both, I always write a poem in remembrance of her. Guys, I'm getting tongue twisted. Yeah, it's just crazy. Like, her birthday is June 17th, 1950. So yes, she was born on Father's Day. She was just a wonderful woman, so kind, beautiful heart inside and out. She was beautiful on the inside and the out, and she was so giving and caring and thoughtful. And I miss her. Excuse me, y'all. I miss her so much. I think about her every day. There's not a day that doesn't go by that I don't think about my grandma. And she even gave me her Paula cookware. And I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I literally had a meltdown once it started peeling, and what's it called, the saffron or something, started peeling from the pot, and it was like these little black specks. And I'm like, I can't be cooking in this and, serving my food. I don't want us getting sick, you know what I mean? So I could just hear my grandma saying, now get rid of it, like, just get rid of it. So I don't use it anymore, but I still have the pots. I still have the pots of ours. I can't let it go, guys. It's my grandma's. I don't know, but I did want to thank you guys for taking the time out and watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys got some information about my grandma. I don't know how that sounded, but I just wanted to share some light, about my grandma, who she means to me, what she did for me, and how we all love and value and cherish her, and we'll just always keep her memory alive, always keep her name alive, always. Thank you guys for watching. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and until next video, I'll catch you guys later. Bye, guys.